So we're back here in the S2000, guys, and today I am bringing you a little modernization to my S2K. Now, when I say that, the prior owner had swapped out a new radio. As you know, the S2000 is outdated. It comes with a CD player. Some of them even came with a 6-disc changer, which is wild to think about nowadays in 2026. What I did was I ended up picking up a power acoustic radio, which gives me Android and Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth connectivity, just all of the new modern creature comforts we all like and have come accustomed to, but in a car from the 2000s. Gonna take a little trip down memory lane here with this radio. I have the harness and everything in hand. What I ended up having to do, and I'm gonna break it down to you here in a sec, was order a new harness because everything was kind of mangled here. For the purposes of today's episode, we're gonna be tackling this radio and bringing it to the future as opposed to in the past where it kind of lives at. Now, as you can see here, I've cleaned it up a lot. I don't even know where, oh, here you go. This was the existing harness that was in the car, guys. All of this nonsense. And I wasn't gonna be leaving it like that, to say the least. So what I ended up doing was I ended up splicing out everything that I believe is not needed, just so I can get it back to a factory spec. Now this is the factory harness. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna snip it from right here, and I've ordered a replacement one so we can get a brand new one in this guy. And then from the new harness, right, which is really the factory one, we can plug in directly into what I found online from Modifry. Now what Modifry does is they let you connect directly into the OEM harness, as you can see, and you get to retain all of your dash buttons, everything that is factory that you wanna use while driving, you can still maintain all of that, which I think is phenomenal. Then from here, we plug in directly into the power acoustic, everything should work. Now there are a lot of wires that I'm not going to be using as of yet because we don't have any rear speakers or a camera or things of that nature. All things I am considering adding to the S2K, but at a later time. For now, I would just like to have a radio just so I can listen to music in traffic, but then also so I can use it for the navigation, right? This one doesn't have GPS or anything like that. I hate having to constantly look down at my phone or bring my phone to my face, so I'd rather just look down a little bit and boom, it's all there. The power acoustic one is nice. I'll show it off in a bit, but let's just get to wiring this harness, because I did find a phenomenal diagram online that breaks down every color code for the S2000 for AP1 and for AP2. I'm gonna put that on the screen right here for you guys so you can see it. And if you have an S2000, check it out in case you're trying to do the same thing, right? Did you have a kind of funky setup and you want to go back to OEM and then use a Modify system to just plug and play? Well, it's possible. That's what I'm going to be doing here right now. Enjoy the diagram. I'm going to put it down in the description as well, just so people can reference it in the future if they ever need to. I'm going to dive in now. We're going to be doing a lot of wiring, so let's just jump right in here. It's not my favorite thing to do on cars, but a necessary step to say the least, because I do want a radio and I do want nav. Let's hop in, let's get this done, and let's see what happens. As you can see here, guys, I got all the wires spliced now. What I'm gonna do is use my diagram that I found online, and don't worry, I referenced like 5 of them. Now I'm just gonna cross-reference it with what I have here, right? Make all the connections to the new harness, and then eventually what we'll have here is just an existing new harness altogether, which is gonna look a million times better than this mess I had over here, right? So let's make it all clean, and let's make it all look good. In case you're wondering what I'm using here to get the wires together and stay together, my dad provided me these little handy dandy strips here that you can see. You'll feed it through one side of the wire here as such, right? Pull it onto the other end of the cable, and what ends up happening is you make the connection between both cables, right? You tie them together, you pull this sleeve right back over it to the midpoint, heat it up, and then it'll seal it. You got nothing to worry about, guys. So that's what we're gonna do from here on out, all right? We're finally through here with all of this. I'm telling you right now, I hate wiring. It's not my forte. I'm not the greatest at it. I got everything that I can see on the diagram that needed to be connected. These wires here are for the rear speakers that I don't have yet. And then up here, I can only get that one of these is for the mute button, and I couldn't find the other wire. So Not sure exactly what that is, but if this doesn't work, it's gonna go straight to a radio shop. There's some people that specialize in it. And as I said, I've been fighting here for like the last hour, just trying to get this together and making sure everything was in its proper location, everything was connected the way it needed to be connected, and fighting mosquitoes all in the process. So we're gonna try now and connect the power acoustics. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but this is a single DIN, I think is what it's called. Don't quote me on it, but single DIN radio, I believe. And it's all touchscreen. It'll look just like Apple CarPlay on your more modernized vehicles now. But the purpose of this was just to get the nav, get Bluetooth. That way I don't have to be, I don't like my phone on the dash. It's never been my MO. So I wanted to keep everything kind of low and neat. And then this still allows me to keep the little door on the S2000 that covers the OEM radio. So win-win, I think. It wasn't very expensive at all. It was like 130 bucks, 140. Probably not gonna get the best audio out of it, but we'll upgrade that when time comes. Let's plug it in. Let's see if what I did worked. And like I said, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be jumping basically the Modifry wire harness to the wire harness I just basically made, the new OEM one. And then this will just plug in directly into the radio and it should work. Fingers crossed. Let's go see. Nothing too complicated here, right? You're literally just gonna take this end of the Modifry cable. It'll go into your existing harness like such. Let me just make sure I got the correct pin layout here. And this and the end of this side goes directly into this end of the radio, which is pretty sweet if you ask me. Looks like she's in there nice and snug. Comes with a little USB cord in case you want to connect it to your wireless device. If you want a direct connection, I prefer it that way. I think the audio sounds always better. You get a little USB cable. I have to feed it through the side and out through the back, but still nice. And lastly, one of the biggest portions of this install is this connector here from Modifry. If you guys can see it, this will plug directly into the radio, into the second harness, which is this guy right here. And then you'll be able to get full functionality out of your dash. And this is what's so cool about the kit, right? You get to not only keep all your dash components as OEM, and it's all housed right here, as opposed to the previous owner who had something massive there to kind of maintain it all. But I get it, who knows when he bought that stuff, right? It's a 2000. I think he said he owned it for like 9 or 10 years. So we're just upgrading right now and we're trying to modernize it just ever so slightly to make it easier for me. What I'm gonna do now is make the last of the connections and then see if this thing turns on.
A few moments later.
All right, last time you guys seen me pick this up, I was fighting with the radio, right? And I won't say that I was fighting with it, but more so that it just didn't want to start. And I wasn't sure why. I lost all my patience with it. Like I said, I'm not the best at wiring. I've done wiring for radios in the past, but for some odd reason, when I color matched the original S2000 harness with the wiring that I had, the wiring that I purchased, right, the new one, it just wouldn't want to start. I wasn't sure why. Got tired of scratching my head with it and searching the internet, so I ended up taking it to a shop, right? Shop did it. They were fantastic. I'm actually gonna go do some more work with them now to change out my front 2 speakers, add rear speakers here in the S2000, add a sub, add an amp. I'm just gonna go through the whole thing and get it all done, so I actually have a proper like radio setup and audio setup in this car, because it lacks it. Like the front 2 speakers sound like trash, I'm not even gonna lie. Now I wanted to show it to you guys, right, because I think it's pretty cool. We got to not only retain all of the factory settings, right, so I still keep my volume knob, the mute button, the channel button, the audio control, I keep everything. And that's all thanks to the Modifry harness that we picked up. The Modifry harness I also took to the shop. I can show them, hey, this is what I tried to connect to and it didn't want to work out. How they did it, I don't know. I really don't care to ask. It works perfect. I'm okay with that part of it. To show you guys, with the power acoustic radio, I'm also able to keep the faceplate, which I think is pretty sweet. So you hit the little button, right? And how cool this looks. And it's all tucked in perfectly. And I think this is the perfect upgrade for an S2K. You keep all of like these little factory nuances, but you get modern, right? I get Apple CarPlay, I get Android Auto. I also have Bluetooth. I can connect via USB. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, but I have all the functionality of a modern radio system now in a car from the 2000s. And I also get to keep all of my controls, which I think is pretty sweet. If you guys don't believe me, I'm gonna be hitting them here and you can see the volume going up. Obviously I don't have anything because I'm not trying to get my video canceled, but you guys can see right here I keep all of it. And if I hit the mute button, there's mute, unmute, and everything works as it should. So the radio's done. We got a functioning audio system now. Now we just got to upgrade it because it's pretty garbage. Can't even lie, it's bad. So I've been looking. I've always been a proponent of Alpine. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay Alpine. I've been seeing a lot of Focal and a lot of JL audio. So for all you audio heads, all the audio nerds, like I'm a computer nerd and an anime nerd, hit me down in the comments. Which one do you guys recommend? What route should I go? There's like a pretty cool little surprise I have for the speakers to mount back here that we got. I'm excited. Like I love music and I need it in all my cars, and I need it very loud in all my cars. So for anybody who really knows audio, or if they've messed with the S2000, what was your setup like? Where were your speakers placed? What tweeters did you use? What amp did you use? What sub did you go with? But from everything I'm seeing, it's Focal and JL Audio are the two best. I don't know what happened with Alpine. Did they take a back seat? I don't know, but I'm gonna do a little more digging, but it looks like those are the top two players within the audio space as of right now. And this here, but I think it's pretty cool now that we got a radio, it's functioning, and I can use my GPS. I was very tired of using my phone. I don't want anything on my S2000 dashboard. I think that looks terrible. So we're gonna have to customize some other method to hang my phone somewhere and do other things. And maybe those are just avenues that I can sell parts to for other S2000 owners because they've wanted the same. We'll see. Radio's done. S2000 plays some little tunes. Like I said, audio sucks, but it is what it is. I'll pick it up here next week, guys. We'll take it with the next video, but get ready because now that this guy is almost dialed in, I get to finish out everything I need to do with the Integra Type-S. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna end it here. You guys enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go ahead and take it easy because I am out.